Mentioned this fraud investigation and the reason that they're here. Is there anything you think, when you look back, you could have done differently to prevent them from showing up and doing what they're doing here?
No, they were coming anyway. It was all make-believe that we'd been at it. Every state had this. And look, I do think there has to be accountability in this. No one in state government was implicated. This happens all over. People did this. We got it caught. We put them in jail or whatever.
Minnesota, the land of make-believe, according to its governor, Tim Walz. But new disclosed information may have dropped Walz and his buddy A.G. Ellison down from Cloud 9. New 200-page bombshell reporting from the House Oversight Committee reveals that Walz and Ellison knew about the billions of dollars in rampant fraud in Minnesota much earlier than they led the public to believe. They ignored warning signs and even tried to cover it up. The report revealing that the governor and the attorney general knew about fraud in the Child and Adult Care Food Program and the Summer Food Service Program as early as April 2020. This even being tied to the Feeding Our Future program that Ilhan Omar allegedly had a hand in. But of course, Walz and Ellison did nothing about it for 6 years until getting caught red-handed due to concerns of appearing to be racist. To crack down on even further fraud, the House is expected to vote on legislation focusing on fraud in student programs. Well, okay, I'm going to go to you, Rosen. One of the things that I found in some of this report that pointed out was that the Minnesota Department of Human Services commissioner had, I think, had been notified about 62 investigations related to some of the child care services. I mean, how can that go undetected at the AG level or the governor's level?
Well, and the central allegation of this House Oversight report, prepared by the majority Republican staff, we should point out, is that it did not go unnoted. Another chilling detail included in the report was that the chief of staff for Governor Walz was purportedly involved in retaliating against those who were trying to sound the alarm about the fraud. This is essentially a legal story at this point, because politically Tim Walz is, what's the word, walking dead man, right? I mean, he's, he has forsaken the hardcore hallucinogenic trips he was harboring for a while about maybe seeking the nomination in his own right. This basically falls to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota. Yeah,
and Littman, what are your sources saying about, is there going to be any result, do you think, from the U.S. Attorney's Office? I think the report, some of the Republican lawmakers had urged Vance to take a look at this, the vice president, because he's been leading kind of this fraud effort.
Yeah, the problem is that negligence, unless it's at a criminal level, and stupidity in politics, that is not against the law. Or else we would probably have all the politicians in jail for various reasons. And so I'm sure that they're looking at whether Walz had anything that rose to the level. But what's interesting, one of the nuggets in that is that they allegedly threatened military surveillance on one of the whistleblowers, and then Walz, I think, distanced himself from that type of retaliation. And so I also wonder, did Kamala Harris and her vetting team, did this come across their desks at all when they were looking to see who would be the best vice president? Did this percolate up? Did he disclose this fact to Harris as, hey, this is in my this is kind of a skeleton in my closet?
Should he have said, I am sitting on a cesspool of fraud right in my home state?
Pick me.
That's his sales pitch.
I do find it interesting. I don't know how this isn't criminal. This is $19 billion. That's actually, we spent $4 billion on a moon landing. So you basically had 5 moon landings stolen. But this seems to be like, if you had a CEO of a company and he allowed $19 billion to be stolen from his company, that guy's going to jail too for a lack of oversight, for dereliction of duty or something. This is criminal neglect. This is taxpayer funding, the most sacred type of money you can get your hands on. And all these working class people, we're just all idiots playing by the rules, paying our taxes. We should have started some Somalian daycare centers again.
Information, truth is freedom, is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.